What's going on, guys? This is Martyrs Brigade 99 coming to you once again with another session of Dark Souls PvP. Alright guys, we're back at it for another upload of a little casual PvP. And actually, I'm not being sarcastic. To the extent that you guys are familiar with one of the more recent videos, I was basically talking about that there was nothing wrong with being a casual player. Right? Because players like myself and a lot of others, yes, we like the game. Yes, we like to compete. Yes, we like to have fun. But at the end of the day, some of us really just do not enjoy try-hard tactics, right? We like to just go ahead and challenge ourselves by other means. So, what I figured I would go ahead and upload is 3 team duels, wherein we are basically going no Darkwood Grain Ring. As a matter of fact, we letting all the try-hard tactics go. And I'm just kind of being sarcastic, so for a lot of you guys that are extra sensitive, just go ahead and just take it for what it is, right? It's only a commentary. But we're letting it all go, right? We're not using any poise. You guys are going to notice all of us are doing a lot of toggles. 0 poise, no Hornet Ring, all the stops, no Darkwood Grain Ring. We're not doing any of that, right? And the thing is, like I said before, we like to improve on our tactics. So, when you place these type of limitations on yourself, then you're you're in a situation wherein either you're going to sink or you're going to swim. Right, but when I play with guys like this, it's really exciting because you really get to see some high-speed gameplay when the participants are not able to just flip out of every single move, and they can't just poise through every single thing. So, some people would consider a ninja flipping, constant BS fishing, to be major league or top tier gameplay. Me, myself, and I'm not knocking anyone like that. Like I said before, this is just my own personal opinion. It takes a lot more skill and a lot more, you need a lot more everything when, you're not able to roll out of every single thing. And, you're not just constantly looking for BS's. It's kind of ironic that I say that at the same time that I enacted a BS. Anyway, it is what it is. So, like I said before, we're going 0 poise. So, as a matter of fact, shout out to Lance for Life, shout out to Spike, shout out to a lot of the guys because I had this series of matches with Artorias 88. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna see can I get a series of matches with that guy because he's pretty high speed with the toggle. He's pretty high speed. Period. He's a good player. So one of these days I'm gonna see can I get him over in the MLB. And I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy that series of matches. But actually, I had a series of matches earlier. As a matter of fact, I had been playing with good old Artorias 88 for like 2 days straight. And when I say him, I'm not saying only him, but also the circle of friends. And I don't have them all memorized, but you'll see some of the guys in here and some of the other guys in the previous upload that I did wherein I'm talking about being a casual PvPer. Alright, so like I said before, shout out to Lance and Spike again because later on in the same day that I caught this footage, I kind of, Lance was streaming and I'm like, hey dude, I got a challenge for you. How about we do some no poise team duels? So he's like, no poise. Alright, cool. So I spelled out the rules. No Darkwood Grain Ring, no poise, no spears. Somebody's going to try to get cheesy. None of the try-hard tactics. But you're basically going to try to either sink or swim with the limitations that are placed on you. So he's like, cool. So, actually I didn't get a chance to record that footage because I was too busy rendering a video, but, it was just as exciting, so I just figured I'd just go ahead and give him a shout out. So, like I said before, This was basically the first match wherein three of us decided to go zero poise, so that's why you'll see one player, and actually that is, I think that's Baron Waffle. I think that's Waffle. He's the one with the chain armor, right? And I think after this particular match, he goes down. Either he goes down to zero poise as well, or someone else comes in to replace him. I really can't remember, but these guys in here, they definitely have some good tactics. And actually, these are the type of people that I would really prefer to play with. Right? And I'm not saying only them, but I'm saying people with their type of play style. You know, what the pros would call the second string. Right? Us more casual players, you know, players like myself, Lance, Oxy, Allen. Shout out to Hawkeye Allen. He's another. I'm not saying he's in the list, but I'm just saying a lot of us kind of have similar play styles, right? That's what I mean. So, you know, shout out to all the second string players because we love to have fun without taking everything so seriously. All right, so enough about that. Now, there's one particular player in here. This guy has a tactic that I think is lag stab. I don't know if it's lag stab or somebody else. As a matter of fact, I think it's lag stab. But that guy is so high speed on the toggle counters that he's basically forcing me to practice on my counters. And when I say counters, I'm not talking about, you know, the too easy, you know, toggle parry. That's pretty easy, and I think a lot of people are kind of used to that by now, to the extent that, you know, you've been kind of practicing with low poise. You know, a lot of the experienced players, they're not going to go for that toggle parry all the time. Now, you might catch some people, but you won't catch a lot of them, because number one, a lot of the experienced players, they don't spam too often. Now, they will spam, because there's nothing wrong with spamming. I'm just saying that they don't spam too often. So to be able to, you know, exercise one of those toggle into parries, it doesn't always work, although at times it does. But this guy, and I believe his lag stab, I really don't want to give credit to the wrong person, but I believe his lag stab, that guy is super high speed. As a matter of fact, not only him, but also Safety Boss. Shout out to Safety. Those guys are like super good at toggling and countering with the BS. And I had to ask him. He did it so many times. And when I say so many times, I'm not trying to say that he did it back to back, because none of these guys BS fish during these series. As a matter of fact, you guys will notice for yourself. Everybody, we're fighting. Nobody's trying hard. Nobody's trying to prove a point. We're not BS fishing. We're basically fighting the same way we would anywhere else. So one thing that you guys might notice, he is super awesome at toggling out of a hit and immediately countering with a BS. And, you know, he performed it so well that I had to ask him. I'm like, well, I mean, how did you do that? And he's basically like, well, all you have to do is, when you toggle, you have to hurry up and unlock, toggle at the same time, and then counter. So, you know, with him saying that, because if you guys notice, I'm pretty good with the toggling. Now, granted, there'll be some instances wherein I may miss, but for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable with the toggling. But toggling, unlocking, and circling around, I mean, that's one of those tactics that I really want to practice, because he is really good at it. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys are going to see it a little later on. I'm pretty sure you guys will. But I think it's that guy right there with the Wanderer set that I just knocked to the ground with my Wrath of the Gods. I think he's the one. As a matter of fact, that guy's going to hit me with a super high speed parry. As a matter of fact, I'm going to see, can I draw you guys' attention to it a little later on, because I watched it a couple times during the time that I was editing this video. It's a pretty good parry. Now, I don't know how it looked from his own view, but it was pretty high speed from my view. I mean, those camera angles, they were like just dead on at the time that he did it. Alright, so enough about that. All right, so while you guys are just going ahead and checking out what's going on, this is basically my pyro cleric. Nothing really special about it. You guys notice that he did it right there. You guys might want to rewind that because he just did it, and it happened so fast. That's why I say it was high speed. So this is just another example, and he does it a lot. This is just another example, and like I said before, not to knock anybody, but this is what I consider to be good players. These guys do not rely on constant ninja flipping BS's. They don't need poise, and they can basically work themselves out of a lot of situations. And that's why I said I really prefer tactics as opposed to, a high win streak, what you might say. Because like I said before, anyone can win a lot with a katana or Darkwood Grain Ring BS's. Anyone can do that. But can't everybody do this, right? And I'm not necessarily saying that, this is quote unquote what skill is. I'm not saying that. I'm just basically talking about my own opinion. Because I know a lot of you guys, you don't realize that my commentaries are full of my opinions, and some of you guys kind of take this stuff to heart. So I feel like I have to remind some of you people at times that, hey, listen, this is my commentary and these are my opinions. So if you take it personal, that's just you. All right, so enough about that. I'm trying to figure out what does he have on his shoes. Like, what did he don? I'm not really sure. One of those high-speed sorceries. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and heal. Like I said before, this is my Pyro Cleric. I usually just rock this build with the 33 poise. Right there. Oh, I forgot to give you guys a warning. Right there. If you guys get a chance to rewind that, check out that angle. That was a high-speed parry. Now, granted, I got my get-backs on him. But that parry was high speed because actually he toggled out of it. And I didn't think, since there was so many people there at the time, I didn't think he was going to react that fast, but he did. Because, sometimes when there's a lot of people in one area, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. But he still saw me coming running with a running R1, and he still prepared and came back with the follow-up counter. That was a high-speed move. So shout out. That is Lag Stab, so shout out to Lag Stab. Alright, GG. So, once again, like I said before, we're back at it for another upload and another demonstration of some of that good old casual PvP. Right? Because you don't always have to go to try-hard mode. Sometimes you can have a little fun. You don't need to optimize everything at all times. Right? Go ahead and challenge yourself sometimes. So the dragon is kind of doing his thing, and I figured I would go ahead and pull out a bleeding weapon, seeing that the dragon is kind of easily bled out. That dragon is pretty good, right? He's holding his own despite the the lower defense. That knockdown is pretty hilarious. As a matter of fact, it kind of reminds me of that trolling series I did, wherein I was knocking people down with the force. That's pretty hilarious, if I must say so myself. Alright, so back to the serious note. Now, if you guys notice, we didn't necessarily set out, a laundry list of rules. But if you guys will notice, no one's turning cheesy, right? No one's getting cheesy with the spears. No one's pulling out, some kind of cheese katana where you're spamming with it. Everybody kind of, and actually this is just another testament to what I was saying about playing with people that have similar likes and dislikes as you, right? Because we didn't even say anything about spears or katanas or falcons or, gold tracers. We didn't say anything about that. But if you notice, no one's trying to be cheesy. Now, granted, you might get stun locked, but so what? you should be able to toggle out of it, especially if you are as experienced as some of us are. And granted, some of these guys may actually be a little more experienced than me, especially Lagstaff. I mean, I'm probably gonna do some sparring with that guy because he's really good with those toggling and counter attacks. Really good with it. As a matter of fact, I think I can stand to learn some things from him. So, like I said before, shout out to good old Lagstaff. He is definitely good with those counters. All right. So he caught me by surprise. As a matter of fact, I want to be able to get so good with my toggle escapes to where I'm almost toggling on instinct. Right? Because, you know, in some of these instances, if I don't see an attack coming, I'll get staggered. And I'm not really trying to toggle out. But some of these guys, I mean, I feel like I'm blindsiding them, but they're still able to toggle. So that lets you, as a matter of fact, War Souls. Shout out to War Souls. He's one of those guys. As a matter of fact, the next few Team Arena videos that I do is going to be from the night that Spike and I hosted that event. And you guys should be able to see War Souls in there. That guy is so good with those, for which I think he's being blindsided. Now, granted, I don't know what his camera looks like, but I do know in the event that, you know, his back is faced towards me, and I just kind of come up behind him, sometimes he still toggles out of it. So, you know, like I said before, I don't know if he's just unlocking and turning his camera around to prepare for it, or, I mean, he's just got that thing as instinctual as breathing. So, whatever it is, what it is. Alright, so that's Lagstaff putting in his work with the longsword. And Artorias 88 punished him with the BS. We're good to go. Alright, nice. Little off right there with the fireball. Alright, just back him up a little bit because his momentum is a little too fast. And actually, a little later on, I figured out, I said, you know what? I probably should get a longsword, but for this particular build, my Pyro Cleric build, I never really thought about using a longsword because actually, I'm just using the bare minimum, right? I'm not a 2840 nor am I a 4040. This is just a 1645 on this particular build, right? I have 16 strength, 45 in dexterity, and 30 in faith. You guys notice that? He is everywhere with those toggles. See, players like that, in my opinion, are really good, right? You have to give those guys credit because it is not easy to be able to react that quickly on, I mean, instantaneous attacks. It is not that easy. Now, I know some of the pros will tell you that toggling is nothing, it's not impressive, but it's impressive to me, right? Because these guys are not flipping through every attack. They're taking attacks and they are countering them. That's really impressive. Very impressive in my personal opinion. Alright, so that just about sums up this video. Right? And actually this video, I like to title this one, I don't know. I guess nothing wrong with being casual part 2. I don't know, I might figure out a groovy name to it between now and the time that I upload it. Well, alright guys, this is pretty much it. So, hey, until next time, Mars Brigade.